and welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is our exclusive interview series with the Wonder Woman in the technology space. It's a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. It gives me an immense pleasure in introducing our next Wonder Woman in tech. And our guest for today's interview, she is Aarti Singh, the Director, IT&DA Center and the Chief Information Officer at Boeing, India. Aarti has 20 plus years of rich experience in the space of information technology and management with extensive experience across various industries, mainly in financial services, aviation, energy, automotive, and shared services. Aarti has global exposure of working in with different regions and different cultures, mainly in India, US, Europe, Asia, and Australia, across various technologies spanning from IT infrastructure services, cybersecurity, analytics, application. Aarti has worked with various brands like Mercedes-Benz, GE, Accenture, Oracle, and many more. She's a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt certified professional. And Aarti, it's an absolute pleasure to have you today on this episode.
Oh, thank you so much, Khushbu. An absolute pleasure to be here with you as well.
Great. So, Aarti, I would like to start with my first question. While you are at such a leadership role in your career and being a woman, there are a lot of other additional personal things that we have to manage. So I wanted to understand if you can share a little bit about you. What is it that you do and what a typical day looks like? That'd be good.
Okay, so like everybody else, I've got into exercising a bit. So start off the day with exercising a bit, reading the news, and getting the kids ready for school. So even though they're online classes, so that I guess is a morning chore that I have to get by with. Then post that, now we started getting back to work in physical form. So we are back in the office as a leadership team, and we're also looking at various ways in which we can get back to work for our other colleagues as well. And so while at work, obviously I'm working on different agenda items. For example, we have a lot of conversations around strategy, around the new ways of working. We have a capability center, like, for example, in Bangalore. So what do you do? So like any person in my position, we have obviously strategy discussions. We review things that we do, all the projects and programs that are going on. And then what you do around talent building, people development. So a lot of focus also around people development. How do we grow our people? How do we bring meaningful work for them? So really focusing on that in a big way, really focusing on innovation. What can India do for the larger world? So around some of those things, we have a lot of discussion items and a lot of things we're trying to do. So kind of my day is filled with that. And obviously I'm a people's person. So I love meeting people and getting to know them. And that's typically how my day goes by. And then when I get back, obviously with the kids, trying to get them to do some of their homework,
Right.
and which is, I think, a bigger challenge. But yeah, that's pretty much how my typical day looks like.
Nice. I love the way you've put it across. It's why there's so much to do, but you're managing it so well. So good to hear that. My next question is, did you always know that you wanted to work in the technology space? And if it was not technology, what would you wanted to do?
Okay, actually, that's a very interesting question. So if you look at my background, I went to Lady Shri Ram College in New Delhi, where I did my bachelor's in eco honors. And I was pretty much like at that point in time, like a finance kind of a person. Finance was my forte and I was quite good also at it. And during that time, IT started coming up, or like people started hearing that it's coming up, it's important. And I did not know anything about technology then. And I'm the kind of person who always tries to learn new things. So I thought that, this is something which would come up in the future, and it's better that I get acquainted to it. I understand what it's about. And then when I went to SPGN, then I specialized in IT. And that's how my foray into IT started. So if not in IT, maybe I would be in finance. And yes, when I went to SPJN, the first 3 months were tough because obviously it was a very different subject than what I had done. But, it's all very analytical. I was always very good with maths and things like that. So I think it gelled very well. So after maybe a 3 month struggle, I put in a lot of hard work, and I feel that, if one is willing to put that hard work, that effort, nothing is impossible. And with just this example that after 3 months, then, you got the hang of it, and then it was easy after that.
Right.
So that was my foray into technology. And then what happens is, wherever you specialize in, you tend to get a job in that same segment.
Correct.
So when I got a job in college, in the placement time, it was in Oracle Financial Services, iFlex at that time. And that's how my foray into a tech career started. And when I started working, I started really enjoying it. So I kind of then stuck to that and not looked back since that day.
Nice. Excellent. Great. Okay, my next question is, we don't see many women in the tech industry, and we had seen and have felt that that gender has affected the way it's perceived or treated in the industry. Have you ever been in a situation like that, and how did you handle it?
Okay. So I would say the situation today is much better than what it was, say, when I started off over 20 years ago. That time people did look upon women as to whether they'll be able to handle it or not. Now, at least from a software standpoint, people don't have, that doubt in their mind.
Yeah.
So I would say we've come a long way, but how do you handle it, or how did I handle it? I would just say that, you become so good at what you do. Like, people will doubt you, but you have to just learn to overcome that. So you become so good at what you do that gradually people will start respecting you for who you are and what you know.
True.
And it does take longer than maybe if it was a man, but it happens. So I think just perseverance and patience would be something that one has to have. The society changes as a whole, you know. But definitely, if I look at how it was and now, there's a big change. Like, now, at least people don't doubt you, like the way, they would doubt you earlier, and you have to prove yourself. Okay, so now at least I feel that you are given a chance, and you do have to prove yourself, but the degree that you have to do so much now obviously has gone down compared to what it was then.
True. Very true. I think yes. I think now we see the difference. In fact, yes. Great. My next question is, what do you think is the best part of being a woman in the tech industry?
uh, See, with the other side, there is a positive side as well. Okay. Yeah. So where people doubt you, then if you're good, people really value you. Yeah. And you take people by surprise. So on the other hand, if a man is good, the amount of, how much people would look up to you, that degree would be little less, versus if you're a woman and you're really good in technology, like, they look up to you much more. Okay. So you do have that advantage. Yeah. And the second thing I would say is, like, men and women bring complementing skills to the table. And there are some things that women just do very well, whether if you look at user-centric behavior or empathy on how you use the systems, or how to make the system better from a user perspective, some of those elements. And there is also an art in IT on how you do things. Okay, so there's a science and there's an art. And that art element also, I feel women do well. And they're very structured. So overall, there is that definite advantage that women do bring to the table, and the complementing skills that they come with. And obviously, as I said earlier, if you're good, people do look up to you.
True, very true. Great. Uh, we have come so far, you're right. But do you still see a lack of women in the technology space? And if you do so, why do you think that would be the case?
I agree that we have come a long way, but we are not there as yet.
Yes.
So the day we'll be 50-50, in the workspace in tech, that day maybe we would say that, there is a balance.
True.
So I would say some of the reasons would be society as such, and the expectations that we have of women and men.
Yeah.
And it's not easy also to be a man, because you're stereotyped also as a man, or you're stereotyped as a woman. So the stereotyping with a man is a man has to be the breadwinner. So imagine if a man wanted to run the house and be a house husband. It's not really acceptable in our society,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I would say equal opportunity for all would mean should be okay in our society for a man to play a role of a house husband.
True.
And on the contrary, we stereotype a woman to be a housewife also, so it's like expected that it is okay. So the moment society changes where, we feel that everybody should have a career, everybody should have that opportunity to do what he or she wants to do, I think that change will come. And even with the way I would say girls are raised, if a boy plays with trucks and cars and all, it's fine. And we don't tend to give similar toys to the girls. They may not like it, but it is also how you bring up your children.
Correct.
If you were to give your, daughters like cars and trucks and Lego motors and more of those things, as a child will have an inclination towards some of those things and engineering and all,
Right.
and so I think it is a mindset change. And naturally also women maybe don't tend to go towards such things, but if you have that kind of an atmosphere in the house,
Yeah.
You'll definitely find the girls also wanting to take up, careers in technology. So I think gradually with time, when society changes and when we are educated, all the mothers are educated, the mothers have a career, and the mothers also feel it's okay for a son to excel in arts or something, and a girl then to do engineering. So I think we need to let go that even if you have a son, if it's okay for them to pursue a career which is different than technology and engineering.
Very rightly said. I think these are some of the very fine points, and it does matter a lot. You're right. Great. My next question is, in fact, last question is: any piece of advice for that you would like to give to the women considering a career in the tech industry, and what do you wish they know or they had known, which you've experienced it? So, any best practices or anything that you want to share?
Okay, I would say the number one thing is do not fear technology. So if you are really wanting to do something and you're willing to put the effort behind it, be it technology or any other career, it's easy.
Right.
It may be difficult in the beginning, but it's a journey. So perseverance and patience are the two things you really need to have, and do not have any fear. Okay, so that is the first thing that I would like to let everybody know. The second thing is hard work. There is no substitute to hard work. You have to work hard. See, sometimes you don't have a natural inclination for something, but if you practice, you put your mind towards it, you're very focused, so number two is hard work. And the third one I would say is learn from people. So once you understand what is it that you want to do, identify some people in your network or network, people who've had a career in that area. Okay, if it's technology, people who've had a career in technology, learn from their successes, learn from their failures, learn what it took to get them where they are today. And if you're a student and planning a career in technology, also get some professional help. So right now you have a lot of these coaching centers where they tell you, or consulting centers where they tell you that what are the various options, so that you can make an informed decision and you can plan your career also in a structured way. See, sometimes what happens is I may be working and an opportunity comes up, which suddenly comes up, I didn't plan for. And you cannot plan everything in life. But yes, when you're starting your career as to what your interest is, I think it'll be good for you to get to know some people who've done that before, get some professional help, and have a structured plan on how you will get there. So I think, at least from my experience, I think that's what worked for me.
Very rightly said. I think good key points. And um, the first point which you pointed out is to be fearless. Yes, I really believe in that. So this has been a wonderful conversation, Aarti, and I'm sure all the women who are going to be watching this episodes are going to get good key takeaways from this. So thank you once again for joining on Wonder Woman in Tech, and you truly are Wonder Woman. So thank you so much, and all the very best to you, Aarti.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks again.